So I'm back from my very small break, and I have since realized I am going to stop giving a shit about what people think. This is my channel. Now, yes, I know I've been talking about this controller a ton lately. Last time for a while. Promise. 6 months on, and the PowerA Fusion Pro is still in relatively good condition, especially when you compare it to my first Elite Series 2, so yeah, it gets a pass here. I have other dog shit monthly update videos if you're interested in looking a little deeper into this controller, as well as a full review, and just like the previous monthly update video, looking at some pros, some cons, some boop-ba-doop-ba-boo. And because I have no respect for my audience, before the video even begins, please be sure to subscribe. Now we're going to start off with the thumbsticks. I know everyone's curious about drift and everything. That's something we'll be covering in the next portion of this video, which is entirely dedicated to me bitching about things. But 6 months on, and I still enjoy these thumbsticks heavily, even though they have lost a decent amount of their tension. They're still some of the fastest thumbsticks I've used, I heavily enjoy them, and I do genuinely believe most people will be happy with these. Even though it is kind of difficult making very small adjustments with these thumbsticks, which is why I might recommend something like Precision Rings, they're still very easy to use, maybe not as easy to use as a stock Xbox One controller, but they're very easy nonetheless. The paddles are a similar story, and while yes, they are 1,000 miles away from perfect, they work. Most people would heavily enjoy them. I heavily enjoy them, but they are loose, and as I've said in many videos before, they continue to loosen over time. In this case, they have not loosened as much from the 3 to 6 month mark as it did from the 1 to 3 month mark, but still kind of annoying. Just be sure you aren't smashing these paddles like a 10-year-old with an Xbox controller, okay? I know most of you are 10-year-olds with Xbox controllers, just don't do that. Jesus shit, console is so sucky. One last thing I'd like to talk about before moving on, and one of my favorite parts of this controller, the body design. So do you see this obese, fat, chunky motherfucker right here? Super wide bumpers, wider design overall, and then you got some slim bumpers and a nice, small, compact design. This controller is extremely easy to grasp, I love the feel of it. Just weighs a couple of pounds. At least it feels that way. It's just unbelievably heavy. It's not something I personally take issue with, but I know a lot of people will. A lot of people will have wrist issues or issues with whatever. I know you guys, again, are a bunch of 10-year-olds, so you might not have the toughest wrist. Just do this a couple of times a day, or this a couple of times a day. Maybe you'll be able to hold this controller. Alright, are you guys ready to be as negative as everyone else is on the internet? Because regardless of what you say, that's what we're about to do. Now, I'm going to say this, and I might regret it later, but to be honest, I don't really care. This controller doesn't seem like it was built for long-term use. Take into consideration the issues I'm about to discuss are not just with me and my Fusion Pro. The issues I have are actually extremely common. There seems to be a giant misconception in the comment section that I only take my own experience into account when talking about the reliability of devices. I look at hundreds of YouTube comments, dozens of very garbage, basic, bland tech reviews for these controllers. I go and look at Amazon and eBay reviews, hundreds of them. Do not fucking test me. Please do, it's the only way I can improve. But yeah, we're looking at some light stick drift in the left stick, unfortunately, which was bound to happen. It seems to be literally one of the most common issues here. It's not extreme, but it is going to continue to worsen as time goes on. Paddles, again, as I've said, they've continued to loosen. I don't know, the Fusion Pro just seems like it has a bunch of issues when it comes to the build quality of some of its things and the design behind them. It is a very simple controller, which means it's going to last you, you know, in most cases, but with the way the paddles are designed and whatever's going on with left stick to make it so commonly drift, I don't know what's going on. Oh yeah, I also broke an anti-friction ring, which isn't a common issue, by the way. That's my fault. I accidentally broke it off while trying to take these off, which is why I have the green ones on now, and it is dog fucking ugly. Unfortunately, the Fusion Pro just isn't a very consistent device, which is actually kind of the word you could use to describe all controller products, and the Pro... Shut the fuck up! Revving your engine outside. You have a V6, shut up. That's probably the word you could use to describe all controllers, all controller accessories, pretty much anything to do with modern controller gaming. Inconsistency. Sometimes they work for years and years on end. A lot of times they don't. But the Fusion Pro is consistently more reliable than most controllers out there today, so I can recommend it over most things, especially with the price tag that it's at. It kind of makes for an unbeatable experience when it comes to price to performance. If something goes wrong, I probably will be making a 9-month update video on this controller. If not, I might wait until it's been a year. I'm a bit of a lazy bastard. So there's a couple of things that I didn't mention in this video because they don't really fit into the pros or cons category. They're just kind of things I wanted to throw in there after. You know, I didn't put them in for one terrible excuse or another, so let's just run over them here. Gaming performance. Previous videos. The 1-month video, the review. Go check those out. Firmware. This controller has a firmware software update or whatever the fuck that you can use to calibrate thumbsticks, triggers, stuff like that. You can custom calibrate them, but fucking A! Stop! You have 6 cylinders! Alright, what was I talking about? Firmware. It's an official firmware updater. It doesn't have any features in it. You can't really custom calibrate it, but if you want to, you can do it yourself. It's not an official feature, so I won't talk about it here, but I'll leave a tutorial down for the thing in the description. I'll leave the links for all the stuff down below, you know, Italiano. Trigger stops, not that great. I mean, they work, but they're not that great. They're 3-way trigger stops, but they don't really work that way. They work more like 2-way trigger stops, but they're stable, they work, they're fine. I think that covers all the things I missed. Now we need to move on to the grand finale, though. 6 months on, and this is still one of my favorite controllers. While it isn't the best in terms of its feel for paddles, it's not the most consistent with its reliability. It does have good customer support. It does have a 2-year warranty. It does have an unbeatable price tag. And to be honest, this is all around the most recommendable controller out there currently. While the Wolverine Tournament Edition has had less complaints than this controller does, the Wolverine Tournament Edition is a very, shall I say, unique controller that is very specific to people like me who are crackheads and like Razer products that are way out there. This is something that's extremely simple, not only in terms of its design, but easy to use, easy to learn, and for its price, it is literally, it's like the same price as a PS5 controller. Just buy this. If you're someone who's new to the Pro Controller game, if you're someone who's had an Elite controller fail on you, if you're someone who's had a Scuff controller fail on you, all these other controllers that are just, give this a shot, dude. You really wouldn't be losing out on anything. It's only a bit more than what your stock controller would be, and you're getting far more features. I'm gonna try to include EU links from now on in my videos because I know I haven't really done that much and I have not been inclusive enough. I'm sorry, I'm a bit racist. Oh, you want some tea, mate? You want some tea? I'd like to say one last thing to people planning to purchase these controllers, though. When it comes to PowerA controllers, at least at this point in time, enjoy them while you can. The industry seems to be falling further and further into the pit of not giving a single shit about build quality or the customer or the consumer, anybody, and the more and more people eat this shit up from Microsoft and places like Scuff, the more it will begin to happen. Eventually, PowerA will succumb to it. I mean, they've already re-released the Fusion as the Fusion Pro 2 with very, very, very minute upgrades that don't even matter, pretty much. So I'm assuming PowerA will be on the same wavelength as the rest of the Pro Controller manufacturers eventually. If you buy this, enjoy it. It's not going to last that long. So I hope you guys enjoyed this realization that the industry's dying. Monthly update videos coming out on the Wolverine TE. It's 3-month, well, it's 3-month update video. It's supposed to be last month, so it's gonna be 4 months this month. As well as the Elite Series 2 3-month update, which will be happening middle of next month. Also got videos on precision rings, and I got a Hex controller too. We're not gonna talk about that right now. Right now, we'll shout out the members, and I'm gonna go. Don't want to burn you guys' time. Got a bunch of new members since last video, holy shit. Thank you guys. I'd love to give a huge shout out to our controller players, JG, Waterless, God, Exo Casper, Noah Jacques, Nenzaki, Young, Rockstar, Mr. Deadeye, Billy Rob Organs, Lincoln Shepherd, Simi Otto, Jimmy All in Olive Oil, Dub CP, Mike Clark, Frosty APL, Pausist, and Lash One. You guys are really getting like the worst fucking names imaginable just so I can. I don't know how to speak, bro. I'm gonna call you Lash, because if I try to say the extra thing, I'll tongue twist and. I sincerely hope you guys enjoyed this one. Like I said, I got a bunch of videos coming out soon. If you did, enjoy this boy, and want to see those, subscribe, check out my videos down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.